So, Matthew chapter 13. We are in verse 36. Then he left the crowds and went into the house, and his disciples came to him, saying, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." And he answered them, "You stupid disciples." No, that's not what he said. There are times when he knew, because he flowed in massive understanding of gift of knowledge by the Spirit, when people's motives were off. And when their motives were off, he called them out and checked them. Okay? But his disciples really did want to know what was going on. And so, instead of insulting and upbraiding them, he said, "Sure, I'll teach you." Right? So, he answered, "The one who sows the good seed is the Son of Man." Jesus. "The field is the world, and the good seed is the sons of the kingdom. The weeds are the sons of the evil one. And the enemy who sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the messengers." The reason why I translated that messengers instead of angels is because when you think of angel, you immediately think of something. You get a picture in your head that may or may not be biblical. The word there, though it is in the Greek angelos, which could be transliterated as angel, actually more appropriately is messenger. Malach, or melech, in Hebrew. It's one of those two, Malach or Melech. It's Melech and Malach is king, and the other one is messenger. But the idea here is that you have these things that deliver, these entities that deliver messages. It could refer to the dudes that it could refer to the dudes that come from his throne room, come from eternity. It could also refer to someone on this earth who's delivering a message. Malachi 4, if I remember correctly, uses that word when he says, "You send my messenger before the great and terrible day of the Lord." Send Elijah, who is a messenger. Prophets also have that message delivering function. Now, I think this is talking about that the heavenly entities, those messengers that we typically refer to as angels. But I want us to be able to have a little more fluid and understanding with respect to the range of meaning for that word. It can mean either angel or messenger, and I like the idea of messenger because it puts the emphasis on what they're doing rather than what they look like. Do I have an idea of a cherubic Gerber baby, looking like Cupid with a diaper on? We don't want Cupid, okay? We want the whole thing. We want the whole enchilada. Every entity that is in heaven, we give them their due understanding and respect, and it's like, okay, we interact with them, and they co-labor with us, not in the same way, but they do engage in some of the redemptive work of our King. They deliver messages. So, anyway, there's a major rabbit trail there. Just as the weeds are gathered, okay, the reapers are the angels. Okay, so verse 40. Just as the weeds are gathered and burned with fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send his messengers, his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all causes of sin and all lawbreakers. Now, it's not just people who are breaking the law, you infracted, I'm the traffic cop, so I'm yanking this stuff. The idea of lawlessness is that which assaults or militates or fights against the knowledge of Yeshua as king. The kingship of Jesus is what breaks the spirit of lawlessness, not necessarily just practicing the law, and not even necessarily only obeying the rules, but walking with an understanding and revelation of the King and having Jesus enthroned on your land such that you search out his will and his purposes, you connect with the King, you learn what the King's will is and how he is interpreting certain things, what's behind the laws, what's the reasoning and motive for him saying, don't do this, don't do that. You get to the motives and the why, because the greatest theological question of all time is?
Why?
Or?
What time?
So what?
So what? Yeah. Blank.
In other words, get to the point. The Lord doesn't want us to just follow the rules. Yes, sir, don't jaywalk. The Lord wants us to know why we're not jaywalking, because it can expose us to things that can hurt us, keep us from walking and flowing and possessing our birthright.
Right.
You know, don't speed. Black ice comes, boom, you're dead. Your car is no longer under control.
It's really scary. It's true. Even the sexual laws in the Word are for our protection. So many people see them as a whatever, something yucky, but they're for our protection.
Yeah. Don't just, obey the law. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. This is why I sometimes get irritated when y'all say yes, sir, because it's like they're following the law, but they're not getting to the heart of why I'm saying
Girl with the baby.
Don't do it.
Right. Because there's love and protection behind it. There's yeah, it's true.
Certain things, as wounded as y'all might be, there are certain things that are life or death that I'm going to scream at you for. If I see you running into oncoming traffic, I'll scream first and yank you out of the road, and then we'll make up later. I also have to learn how to pull back and what to scream over and what not to scream over. So I'm learning this thing. So he will take all lawbreakers. It's not just the people who are, he's not going to just do the traffic cop. It's like, they don't even know my heart. They don't even know the why. Why is the greatest commandment love God, love neighbor, love the aliens? Those 3 commandments. It's because there's a heart of love behind all of those things. That is at the root of all of those laws. The dietary stuff is for your protection. The kosher laws in Scripture are for your protection. The honoring of father and mother is for your protection, so you can learn how to grow, build, wear armor, and fight. You need a hug, miss. You can come over here and give me a hug. Get a hug if you need one.
We throw up if I do.
Okay, that's fine.
I may want to keep him home one more day.
Okay. Look at me. You've thrown up on me before as a baby, and I'm not worried about you throwing up on me, bro. I love you, okay? So, we need to not just focus on the laws and what they say. We need to say, okay, what's in his heart concerning this? What can happen if I don't follow these things? I want to connect not just with obeying the law, but with the heart of the King behind the law.
Yes.
I don't just want to abstain from shellfish or bacon or sausage or ribs or whatever the case. I want to know why. What's in it for me? If I'm going to do something, whatever I do, if I'm going to get a vaccine, I do it in faith. If I'm going to abstain from a vaccine, I'm going to do it in faith. I need to know why I'm doing it, though. We really have to build out this idea, not just from mere obedience to laws, but what's in Father's heart for me, and why did he put that in Scripture? Let me explore that. Let's dig it out. Let's really suck the marrow and the meat out of this and say, really get a hold of this, get some ownership, and move into it.
I'm not convinced, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced we're always going to get a why answer.
True.
but I think I agree with you that it's worth pursuing. I've seen a lot of people, they won't even pursue it because they might not get an answer, and it's worth pursuing.
Yes. The key here is how much light are you walking in? What are you doing with the light that you're walking in? Are you choosing to hunt for principles even when your life doesn't depend on it? Are you making a habit of hunting for the light even when you don't need it, so that when the time comes and you need it, you've got this backflow of a river back behind the dam that you can just release onto the problem, where you can just make a habit. Quick, I'm going to go in. Oh, there it is. The more light you have, the quicker you'll find more light.
It's true.
So, that is the first part. We're just going to put a button on it there. We're going to finish the rest of the parable, but there was that application that I really wanted to bring out and hammer home for y'all. And we love you guys. And we bless y'all with his tender affection and his kindness.
Yes.
Have a lovely afternoon and morning, guys.